right? So
Yeah,
one of
just
the
to
biggest...
clarify, I wasn't saying there was enough. The minister had to point out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There isn't. No, but I'm answering Minister Dial Singh here to sell it. So you have. Let me just go back a little bit because you asked about mortgages and lending and stuff like that. So you do have solutions there. You have term finance. They're all using technology to grant loans faster, etc. But again, WePay is trying to bring a solution, and they have. But it's not broad enough as yet. We don't have real wallets working, and cash is trying from Republic Bank. But you still need a credit card to build up your wallet.
Because this is a public hearing. And I think I want to make sure the proper information is out there. Misinformation, I think, is the biggest problem we have in Trinidad of what fintech and the value of fintechs are. WePay has been successful. We process hundreds of millions of dollars every single month. Hundreds of millions in Trinidad, right? Tens of millions, in Trinidad. Hundreds of millions across the Caribbean. And why we've been successful is because fintech is not, like I said, a product or a brand. Solutions are not solutions that you build because, you try to make money. You have to fix a problem. And there's a bunch of people tossing up, I have an app or I could build fintech, and it's not fixing a problem, right? If your solution doesn't fix a problem, then it won't get adoption. WePay has been blocked every single step of the way, but we have great adoption because we fix problems, right? So my position here today, coming in as the leader in the space in the Caribbean, right? I just gave this speech last week in Washington, D.C. What the advancement of fintech is in the Caribbean is based on solving solutions, right? Not depending on, adoption from only state entities and, government entities, which is the main driver, of course. But before you get to state entities and government entities, you need to solve a problem. You need to solve a problem that, would make the lives of everyone, citizens, users of your platform better. And if all you're doing is saying, hey, I have an app that could do, mobile wallet, what does a mobile wallet solve in the Caribbean? Our islands are, 10, 20 miles across, right? I'd much rather meet you in Port of Spain and give you the cash. So you are keeping us, our industry back if all you're doing is trying to say, hey, I'm mimicking something I see in Kenya. Because Kenya is hundreds of miles across. So I would love to send you money where I don't have to, take a bus, for 5 hours to get to you. But are we solving a solution if I'm in Port of Spain, downtown, and you are in, Newtown, and you're saying to me, it's costing me money to put money on an app and then send to someone in Newtown that they get like 2% less. You want to get a second, come downtown and hand you the money. You're not fixing a problem, you're causing a problem. And that's why the industry has a bunch of products that's coming into the market, failing, fantastically failing, because all you're doing is spending money on marketing that's not fixing a problem. And I'm
Mr. Wayne, Mr. Wayne, if I may, Mr. Wayne, can't you use court pay to pay court fines?
Yes.
All right.
To pay court fines. Yes, so court pay was supposed to start off at the maintenance level, and then every payment in and out of court was supposed to be digital, down to lawyer fees and so forth. That actually is part of the law that was passed for payment in and out of court.
Yes, thank you. That is what Member Dial Singh was getting at.
Is there room? You spoke about the U-turn system. You spoke about, I think, another program. You mentioned Ministry of Trade. Have these things come on board? Are they there? Are they ready to come on board? And if they haven't actually been rolled out, what are the challenges that you're facing with rolling out those additional solutions that you mentioned?
Thank you, Member. Maria, I think I'm going to give you a nod here now. I think this is the point Maria was trying to get across. So yes, we have done some good stuff with court pay, but then there's challenges in terms of enablement. After being very successful with court pay, the judiciary was then told that they can't move forward with expansion in some of these services by the Treasury because the Treasury added a new rule that a bank needs to provide this as the service. Now, right there and then shows what the problem is, and that's where Maria, I think, was going. You have a working solution, but then red tape steps in. You have a working solution, court pay for maintenance. The judiciary wants to expand into, other services because it's making it very convenient to pay into court. And then to open a bank account, the Treasury told them, no, you can't open a bank account to provide these additional services. When asked why, they said, listen, there's a new, directive. And John Outridge would know about this because he was actually one of those people working on this thing. And the new directive is, WePay, who's a Fintech, technology company, we don't handle your money. We have a banking partner, right? So the court would have a direct relationship with the bank, but they're utilizing WePay's technology. Was told that we couldn't provide the court with a solution. The banks need to provide the court with a solution. And the judiciary was like, no, the bank provide financial fiduciary responsibility of the funds, not the technology. But this direction came from the Treasury. So the entire thing right now, so I can tell you, the fines and fees part of it was halted or stopped in 2020 because we require to open a new bank account because those funds were separate from maintenance. And that was stopped by the Treasury. I know John probably working on something new, but since 2020 to now, we haven't been able to move forward because of that, red tape that came up.
So Aldwyn was right in terms of there was that gap initially where there were not financial instructions developed to sort of treat with these new payment methods. And that has been the work of the IFC for the past, I would say, 5 months, where to date now, the instructions to allow for online debit and credit card have been approved and passed back in 2020. That would have allowed, these ministries to start being able to accept credit cards. And then of March this year, the Minister of Finance approved the regulations, again, using the judiciary as a use case to now allow service providers to collect money via the agents and so forth.
I think we need to provide facts, right? It took the Ministry of the Attorney General 6 months to get 2 laws passed for court pay. We're talking about 2020 and 2022, right? Some of the instructions that's coming from the Ministry of Finance is that banks need to provide credit and debit card. Credit and debit card is digital payments, my friend. That's not fintech, right? That's not new technology.
Well, to clarify, right? There isn't any instructions that say banks need to provide it, right?
You're talking from your point of view. I'm talking from the instructions that was given to us by the judiciary while the system is paused and meetings that I had with the Treasury. I am bringing to the chair and the members and people that's listening, what is the issue? Since 2020, when court pay stopped, we have rolled out in the country of Jamaica, Grenada, Guyana, 4 versions of the same thing that we're talking about here. And we're talking about laws to be passed in the last 5 months. I am saying the problem is that whole narrative of, we need to create legislation. We created legislation. How court pay have been working for the last, 2018 to now, and not once a data breach. You software as a service from Amazon to provide you with security.
No, I agree with you all. I just want to clarify the term. It's not legislation I'm referring to. It's regulation, which is
all right.
Long time frame.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, members, for your input. So let me give you a little respite here and go to Mr. Wayne, putting back Mr. Wayne, WePay, center stage. Still there with us?
Yeah, you have to 10.
Chair, through you, I have a commitment and I have to leave shortly, but I do have a couple of questions, burning questions for Mr. Wayne, if you would permit me.
Yes, I most certainly will.
Thank you, Chair. So Wayne, I've been looking into this WePay thing because I use court pay and my clients do, and so I was intrigued by it. But I found an article that said that your company moved its headquarters to Jamaica. I think this is in 2020. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Could you tell us, the reason for that and what prompted you to do that? And while you're at it, tell me then, with your being headquartered in Jamaica, obviously you could be in a position to give us a bit of a comparison. Could you give us a comparison of the experiences you've had between Trinidad and Jamaica so far?
Thank you, member. Put me on the spot, but I love to be on the spot. It kind of draws back into what I was laughing at when, so I know John really well, and I understand the mandate that he has, and he's doing a good job in the last 5 years, trying to, steady a ship that, caused the largest fintech to leave Trinidad and go to Jamaica. This is before John's time, so I'm putting you under the bus, John. But the issue is, just what John just mentioned. You come to the U.S. I'm actually based in the U.S. now. We're launching a bank called Color Bank here in Wynwood. We just got a contract with the Sheriff Association across America to use a Trinidad-based company to process into all the sheriff county jails, pilot starting in Flint, Michigan next month. And we're from Trinidad, but we're going to do this for America. But in Trinidad, you have, the Fintech Association. Am I a member of the Fintech Association, John? I don't think so. And we actually built the first platform that demonstrated how technology could work with TTIFC, Endpoint 14, and PwC in 2019. But the red tape, unnecessary red tape, we build court pay, right? No failure, but yet still you're saying to me that you got to figure out a way how to do, court pay version 2, a process and procedures that needs to be put in place to manage how the judiciary is going to deal with payments. They have been dealing with payments for the last 4 years digitally. They were the state entity with the least technical know-how. They were putting court cases on pieces of paper in drawers. Now they're more advanced than every ministry because they didn't have to listen to the things that, the red tape that, government normally put in place when it comes to making these decisions, right? And you hear court pay works, but you know what? We can't do court pay 2 because we got to figure out some legislation. It works. Version 2 is just a different bank account. But you need to figure out the procedure. It's the same procedure that's working now that hasn't failed. That's one of the reasons why, all right? So imagine this. You initiate court pay. All the praises, great, pass laws. Then version 2, red tape. Gov pay. It works in TTBS. Let's go into Ministry of Works and Transportation. We do a whole presentation with U-turn. Let's stop because you know why? We need to get a bank to do processing for U-turn. Now we pay. Which if they actually understand the technology, we are just the technology. We still have a bank doing the payments, but they don't understand the space. So they use intervention, I would say, to slow down progress in Trinidad and Tobago. So all the traveling to Miami, John, and you're my friend, personal friend. You didn't call me last night when I was in Miami. I'm hurt. I can't see any one of my peers here in Miami, in Wynwood, coming to Trinidad and Tobago. I'm sorry. I have nothing to do with infrastructure, right? We have TST and Flow. We have a bunch of fiber coming into the country. We have fantastic infrastructure. We have a fantastic educated public due to, free gate, right? All my staff in Trinidad, 30-something of them, are all educated in Trinidad. So we have all the resources. Is the bureaucracy is the problem. And to answer your question, member, why we moved to Jamaica? Because they did not have the level of red tape and bureaucracy involved in making simple decisions. If something works, use it, not fill an agenda. Right? Corporate works is not moving forward because there's an agenda. In Jamaica, we just signed a $4 billion contract for distribution of government funds. $4 billion. The same time we signed that, what was on the news in Trinidad? Supermarket Association missing monies to distribute cash. This was in October last year. When we're trying to distribute money in Trinidad and Tobago through the Supermarket Association, we're missing money. So tell me, if you have a company that provides this value, and in one island they're saying, hey, let's try to figure it out. And the other island, they're saying, okay, let's use it. The decision was very easy for me to make. It wasn't my decision to make, right? The bureaucracy made the decision. The ease of doing business is the problem, right? So I mean, I can tell you, the TTIFC plan, the first thing you all need to, I mean, and this is just my humble advice, John, is remove all the barriers to do business. Remove or limit it. The Ministry of Finance shouldn't be getting involved in technical decisions. Manage money, not technology. And once we get to that point, then you'll see adoption. If you Google WePay Jamaica, Google WePay Washington, D.C., you would see the things that we are doing. But not in Trinidad. WePay Grenada, we just did the payouts for the government of Grenada for their school program, and we're doing it for the pension. In Guyana, we do payments for the Guyana Civil Aviation. Why does it work everywhere else but Trinidad with government? Ask John.
Well,
Ask him.
yeah.